The president was very keen to emphasize he had the prerogative of power to appoint ministers and deputy ministers. The DA got a share of the ministries and deputy ministries, and that's all they agreed to. It was up to the president to make the disposition on who would be a deputy minister when the DA appoints a minister. And what he decided to do, whether it's for good governance or for internal party purposes, was to make sure wherever there was an DA minister, there'd be an ANC deputy minister.
Yeah. And
the reverse of that. Now, for example, if you go take another ministry, which is arguably much more important, SABC is important to you, the Ministry of Finance, which after all is the absolute engine of government. You've got an ANC minister, you've got a DA deputy minister, you've got a ANC deputy minister, you've got like a triangle there. Mm-hmm. And that department, that ministry, which is absolutely crucial and foundational to the whole of government, actually seems to be firing on all cylinders and seems to be very joined up and unified in its approach. So that doesn't apply across the whole of government, as you've just illustrated with this SABC Bill dispute. Now, theoretically, and it is a theory until it's put into practice, this was envisaged, and I was somewhat involved in the drawing up of the GNU agreement, the so-called statement of intent, that where there is a dispute, where there's a disagreement between the parties in the government, and the DA is one party and the ANC is another party in this case, it will go to a committee which will resolve those differences according to a formula. So, not that I'm there, I mean, I'm like you, I'm speaking from the outside. I was inside for 6 weeks. I'm very happy to be outside again. If there's a dispute like this where the minister and the deputy minister don't agree and the chairman of the committee doesn't agree with the minister but sides the deputy minister, then that cries out for dispute resolution. And the statement of intent actually deals with that. It envisages that situation. It's created a forum. So I think, yes, it's exactly what happens when one party doesn't have all the seats and all the powers, and that party is the ANC, and there's another party which has some of the power, which is the DA in this case. And, you know, if this thing is going to work going forward, they've got to actually use the mechanisms that have already been created and built in to achieve the kind of unity and purposefulness that any government needs. So that would be my obvious solution to this issue. If you don't want to be bound by the agreements you signed, if you don't want to be held to the consequences of a solemnly entered undertaking, then obviously this government is not going to work. And there will be serious consequences. I'm not speaking, you know, I've got no skin in the game, Clement. I'm not a minister, deputy minister, or anything else. But I think for this country, if this government fails or does not fulfill its potential, then we're gonna have big problems. And I mean, one of the issues you've identified in this program is, you know, there's a new administration in Washington. There is a huge there's a huge change of the political weather among our major trading partners.